Alright, so this is my shed. We are underneath my deck. You can see my deck joist here, and this one's pretty rotten. So underneath the deck there's this composite kind of sheeting. Normally people use like aluminum sheet metal to allow all the rain or snow melt to run off the side, not come into the shed. As you can see, it's pretty wet here. But so that's obviously not working, and it's rotted this joist. So first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this 2x8 joist completely, so that way then I can try to reattach this. I'll zip it closed and then put in some caulking, and then hopefully put in a new deck joist, hurricane strap, and then we'll get started building the chicken coop that I want in here. So we're putting insulation in, cutting it to size. This is R15 XPS insulation, and we're going to put some cap nails to hold these in. In the meantime, I've got the joist removed, and I'm putting in 1-inch screws to hold this seam together before I caulk it. Some silicone caulk, and for showers it's clear. I caulked the entire seam, so this is good, and the insulation is coming along as well, so it's looking pretty good. I'm thinking I'm just gonna, so once all the insulation is done, I also got the spray foam, which I used in any little cracks. There's some back there too, so that'll help a bit. I'm eventually going to put insulation on the ceiling too, but I'm going to wait until after we put the new joist in. But for now, we're going to finish up with the insulation, cover it with plywood, and then I'm going to build some foot-by-foot nest boxes. I'm going to build 3 of them, plan to get like 4 to 6 chickens, and then I'm going to have to build perch for them to sleep on. And then we'll cage it off and probably put a little door for them. So put in the new deck joist. So I have some hurricane straps and some 1 1/4-inch screws holding this, and then I have a tie right here. So I got 2 8-foot pieces. This is a 16-foot long deck, and I got a tie on both sides. And then from the top, I took some countersunk screws that were 3.5 inches long, so that way they don't like really stick out from the top of the deck. Now that's done, we're cutting out the hole, and I put a bunch of spray foam in the insulation, and then we're going to cover this up with plywood so the chickens don't eat it or anything. But yeah, we'll get more on the door for the chickens in a bit. So here's what I've got for the door. So after cutting a hole that was 10 inches by 10 inches, I just took a piece of plywood slightly wider, drilled in 2 screws there. That's for the ramp. And then if it's going to be steep, you obviously want something for the chickens to help them get traction. This board luckily already had some stuff. So then for the frame for the door, so you want a door that's just slightly wider than the hole. So this was like 11 by 11. That's this. Obviously I wrote chickens only. And then I just took 2 strips of the same type of wood, so it's the same thickness, and put them right on either side, and then the thing in between. And so then I've got a hook here and a hook here, and then a middle of the rope butterfly knot. So when I want to raise it, let me back it up. Oh, totally bad. Sorry, I can't really do it with one hand. But yeah, I can pull it up and just attach it to this. And then we're going inside. So I've done quite a bit today. So you can see the hole from the other side. So we obviously got all the insulation done on this side of the garage. Put the spray foam, plywood on top. Got some on the ceiling as well. You can use, there's foam board adhesive to hold this up, or I tried using cap nails, which don't work as well. What I ended up really doing that worked quite well is just put in a couple screws on the side like that. They're sticking out and it's ugly, but it's a chicken coop. The chickens aren't going to notice, and that really holds it. And then, so I started building the door, so I just put a frame, so I just put a top and a bottom, as you guys can see. I'm using a Craig jig to make some nice, easy holes for me to drill. Hopefully you can see better right there. And then I just measured the door, and I made this. So I can't put this in yet until I'm going to put 2 more frame pieces, and then I got some cheapo hinges, and I'm going to hinge the door, and then put chicken wire across this whole thing. And then we still have yet to do the perches, obviously. The nest boxes, I built one. This is, I did 13 by 13. I think you could also do 12 by 12. I'm going to have a little board running in front too right here, and then I'll fill it with some hay. We'll see when it's more closer to done. And I still got to put insulation all over this side. So I've got a FLIR infrared video attachment. I'm hoping to show you guys the difference in the insulation. So you can see right here, this main door is partially insulated. You can see the colors are a little warmer where the insulation is and a bit cooler where it's not. And then, for instance, if I move over here, you can see, so these are insulated panels, and then I've got the window right here. So you can see the insulation makes a couple degrees worth of difference. And then over here, got a chicken. Bok bok. See, the head's really warm because it doesn't have all those feathers. For the chicken wire, I have a staple gun. You can also buy staples that you hammer in, either or, and just put it up. I didn't even cut it this way, just let the little excess hang over, rolled up some excess at the bottom, just doing what's easiest. So here we are, all done. I've got two ISA brown pullets. Pullet is just a hen that's generally under a year old. You want to check with your municipality laws about whether or not you can or can't have chickens or have roosters or how many. But so some final touches. So you're going to want bedding. You can see I have bedding everywhere except hay in the nest boxes. And then I've also got some ceramic eggs in the nest boxes, which will help convince them to lay there. So you can see I got my perch set up. You want something to hang the water from, so you just drill a pilot hole, put in a hanger, and then because you want it off the ground so they don't totally murk it up. I bought a heated one since I live in Alaska. I've been talking to people though that don't actually heat the coop in the winter here. You can see I bought a mix. It's in the corner. I'll show you guys hopefully over here a little better. Let me close this door. It's a mix of cracked corn and scratch. So pretty good for them. Another trick is, so one, feed them any leftover like fruits and vegetables you see right there. I just brought out a tray with some watermelon, banana, tomato. They'll love that stuff. And then the other thing is take their eggshells and grind them up and feed it back to them. As far as the remainder of the building, so you can see I put the chicken wire. I put in so the frame that the door mounts on with the hinges, handle. I'm going to put a little latch, but in the meantime I've been using a bungee cord. But yeah, the chicken coop's totally done. I already got my first egg and it's been less than a day. Oh, another note with the nest boxes, put that 2x4 that I have in front, helps kind of like just enclose it a little more for them. So I'm going to keep these chickens in here for 24 hours before letting them outside, and it also gives me a chance to go around and try to plug up any holes in the fence to make sure that they don't get out of my yard. But they seem to be enjoying it pretty well right now.